For 9211 coming at you with another video. So this is proof of what I was saying regarding the combos. So a lot of people don't know a lot of things, but I've been working with a lot of channels for years, like I would say sometimes even maybe like 3 years to almost 4 years before people even started playing competitively on Yu-Gi-Oh, or even before some people played Yu-Gi-Oh, but way before everyone played Dark Magician, because Dark Magician didn't have any play until the middle of COVID, because they didn't have nowhere to go. So they just stayed home and played, and it's something that happened to me as well, because a lot of places shut down and they fired people and whatnot. So that's what brought me back to play Yu-Gi-Oh! But I had already started playing it 6 months before that, as I've already explained, 2019, before May. And that's why I got a head start of a year before everyone else. And that's why every Dark Magician player, for the most part, is like at least 1 year to 2 years behind me, because I'm always ahead. It's like imagine you go to a city and then you leave the city to go to another city, and there's someone that's 2 hours behind you. So you can upload that and have a review on it and comment on it, and the guy that's 2 hours behind you cannot do it until he arrives. That means that he's 2 hours late and you're 2 hours early, and that's the same thing for Yu-Gi-Oh! And a lot of things that I do, I'm always ahead of people, years ahead of people. When they're when they're thinking of doing something, I already finished and move forward. So I already know what works at least 2 to 3 years before everyone else. So if you look at my videos, you can go back 3 years back and you can see me already playing my profile that I played today. I've been playing it for around 3 years to 3 years and a half, and people barely submitted to my profile this year. Like starting January, a lot of people started playing my profile style, and they incorporated into their YCS nationals and all the top decks by adding multiple super polys and the targets, also the Mystic Mine, in addition to your regular draw power. They're seeing that it does work, and those decks are undefeated. Now what's funny is those decks come to my channel and I kill them all of them. As long as it exists, I kill them. There is no such thing as a strong deck to me. The only deck that I've always vouched for is Mysterion. That one's beyond tier 0. It can play up to 30 to 40 cards in its first turn, and it has more than 10 negations per turn. I've beat that deck when I go first, but when I go second, I have a hard time beating it. I've played it only with decks that I've been testing. I haven't played it against my AC 130 yet, which is an undefeated deck. It's the one that's been beating all the decks, and a lot of people don't know that's not even my top tier deck. That's just my profile that I made for Team DMA, because I tried to incorporate a little bit of everything so that people can go to the next level and not have any issues. And then the deck ended up being a success. As you already know, I have somewhere around 10 profiles, and somewhere around 3 to 5 are world known, famous. A lot of the famous YouTubers play my decks, and that's why they win and they become famous. But like I said before, they started with me in my Discord as students, and I was their master. So this guy, if you know him, he has a YouTube channel, and if you've ever seen my YouTube channel, you will notice that I have a video that has my top, I think 10 or 5 YouTubers. They're all people who either play Dark Magician or have played Dark Magician, and people who don't play Dark Magician, I included them because they're so good at Yu-Gi-Oh! And their mechanics and their understanding is very, very good actually. And I talk to them, and some of them I collab with, like I do collaborations with. And this video is specifically about one. If you want have questions about which are those people that I trust and that I collab with, so basically I'll send you a link to their channel. I'll send you a link to this person's channel, and basically they play Dark Mission, but it's not primarily their deck. And I kept telling him for weeks, like, hey, play Dark Magician, because he started playing other decks. So them come back and play Dark Magician. And a lot of people are finding out that Dark Magician can't win no more. So people took the route of going into 3 super polys. And the Garura, the combos that I taught you guys, I think like a month ago, before it was like a week or two before some of the cards even came out, I had already known the combos. Before anybody else told you, I revealed the combos, and when the cards came out, I said I was gonna give some away, but you know, nobody wanted to do the tournament, so I can't give the cards away. It's not my fault. But basically, 3 super poly, so they're maxed out, and they're playing a lot of Mystic Mines, like 3 Mystic Mine and 3 what's it called? 3 terraforming. I don't play that many because I'm always years ahead of the ban list, and what I do is I try to build a deck that can never get hit by the ban list. And that's why my decks are so powerful, because when the ban list hits, people start playing Dark Mission. Like when Anaconda was banned, Dark Mission went dead for 4 months, remember? I was the only channel, maybe only 3 channels, I'm pretty bold, maybe only 3 channels in the world still play Dark Magician, but I was the only one that played Dark Magician and was able to kill all the Nationals first place undefeated decks. Even with the ban list, my channel did not stop. I was the only one probably in the world that didn't stop. It didn't stop me at all. The reason why is because I make my deck to where no one card is the one that makes the deck win. All the cards work together. If you stop one, the other one will win. If you stop both of those, the other one will win. And I'm pretty bold to say I'm probably the only one Dark Mission player in the world. I have a lot of videos where all my spells are negated and I still win. Monster effects are negated. I can't even play certain monsters. You name it. It doesn't matter what happens. I'm able to pull the win. And I have the content in my channel for proof. But this person, he was having trouble winning with Dark Magician. So what did they do? They maxed out Super Poly so that Super Poly could win. And then also they maxed out the Mystic Mines. So a lot of people tell you, no, I'm not playing Mystic Mine, and I'm not playing Super Poly. But when you tell them, show me the video, there is none. And when they do, all they have is Super Poly and Mystic Mine. But they can't win duels on their own. Just those cards win them. So this combo was done unto me earlier. And I know, Adele, you thought that the deck was cheap, and it's not. It actually, some of those combos win against Nationals first place, second, and third. So they have Garura, and like I said, a lot of the people that I duel, I don't duel, like if you ever run across me, I only duel people who have undefeated decks, who have not lost. Now, whether they lie to me or not, that's not my problem. If you told me you have 10 full matches or like 30 single duels, no loss, I have to believe you. It's not my fault. I'm not calling you a liar. I just take you on your offer, but those are the words I want. I want people who have not lost, and then I duel them, and then they get murked. A lot of people, when you play cards, they get rid of everything through Super Poly and through all the monsters, and sometimes you have a bad hand, so I don't use excuses. I just win no matter what. So here's the example so that you guys can see it for yourself. So we're gonna take a look at this duel, and you're gonna notice the deck does nothing. It's just Super Poly and Mystic, nothing else. And that's what all the Dark Magician players are doing. There's 0 Dark Magician plays. Only Mystic Mine and Super Poly are winning everything. And people don't want to believe me, right? Everything I say is a lie. That's what people say. But I prove you the truth. Like when you come to my channel, those cards don't win. It's the Dark Magician deck that wins. And I'm one of the only ones that don't ride my Mystic. I don't know if you've ever noticed. Also, when I teach people not to ride their Mystic like a horse. Get rid of it. It's just there to stall, and then you have to win with the Dark Magician deck. But here you go. So 3 Super Polys. So this is a dead hand. But I mean, he has all the Super Polys, and a lot of people don't believe that you can win with Super Poly. So this deck is an undefeated deck. It is the 3rd place profile for the what is it, the Sprite. So obviously you know how it works. You should already know how it works. So they fuse it with the Toad deck, right? So he's gonna board out like they usually do. The most I've seen with this deck is like 3-4 negations. That's what I've seen in my experience. But the minimum is usually 2 to 3 negations per turn, right? And then they still have cards in the back, so it usually puts you at 3 negations per turn minimum. Nothing less than that, and always more. So and this deck is supposed to be a Dark Magician deck. So he plays the Super Poly, discards the Brick, Garura, then he attacks. So basically cleared the board. So this deck is an undefeated deck. So he didn't do nothing. All he did was Super Poly, right? So a lot of people think that Super Poly does nothing. I'm being serious. And that's why when I told everyone to buy them, nobody listened to me. But after the price of the Super Poly went up, everyone was calling me. Everyone was texting me. On my YouTube channel, my phone, email, everything was blowing up. My online stores, everyone wants Super Poly, and I said no. I kept all my Super Polys, and then once the price increased to like the regular $2 or $1 commons to $5 to $8, that's when I sold them all and I made a fortune. So Super Poly, Mystic, and that's it. This was a dead hand brick. You can't be more brick than that. 3 Super Polys, Dark Mission Girl, everything's dead, nothing works. He doesn't have any back cards or nothing. And the guy had already a combo going on, and he was gonna increase to 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 to 8 negations. So they already broke out of the Mystic, right? With the effect. And then he tries to go in. And then you guessed it, right? He chains again, because there's a timing. You can't negate any of his effect, but there's a correct timing where you can chain, and that's when he chains to it. And then he goes Dragonstopedia. They can negate the effects, right? Yeah, can also make the monsters level 1. So Sprite is dead. A lot of people don't realize how powerful these cards are. So this guy he's dueling against is undefeated. No one's beat him. And then when he plays, he makes the guy seem like nothing. But in reality, 0 Dark Magician cards, even though it was a Dark Mission deck. So the only cards he used were 3 actually. 2 Super Poly he used, and then the Mystic Mine, and that won him the duel. So finally he summons a Dark Magician, just in case you want to say it's not a Dark Mission deck. So if you go on to like a lot of the channels, you'll notice that everyone everyone's winning with 2 cards, either Super Poly or Mystic. But other than that, they're not winning. And a lot of people ride the Mystic Mine and they overplay the Super Poly. I've never played more than 1 Super Poly, and if you notice on all my duels, I usually never play it. And if I usually discard it. If I need to play it, I play it, but I don't usually play it for the most part. And then here's turn 2, and I think he was going second again. And if you notice, 3 Mystic, 1 Terraforming, and 3 Super Poly, you're gonna draw them. I mean, it doesn't matter if he drew them, he's still gonna draw into them because that's what's in the deck. Like 3 Mystic, that's 3 Super Polys, that's 6, and then Terraforming, that's 7, and then plus you draw 5 cards, and those cards draw cards, so those are gonna draw into the cards whether you want it or not. So the guy again establishes the board and tries to lock him out, and you should already know what's gonna happen. Like, it's Mystic Mine and 3 Super Polys, and nothing's changed, right? Nothing's changed. It's the same thing. So the funny thing is, when those guys come to my channel, like when they try to use Super Poly and Mystic Mine, they don't work against me. None of those cards. And that's what's different between me and other channels. The cards that they win with, they don't work on me. The decks that are undefeated, they don't work against me. First place national, first place regional, undefeated, doesn't matter. So when I beat these decks, like a lot of these decks, people don't upload those duels, right? I already know. I wasn't born an hour ago or yesterday. I already know. A lot of people don't upload duels because mainly they lose a lot, especially against tier 1, tier 0. I know because everybody has an opinion, but when you ask them, hey, where's your tier limits matchups? Where's your sprite matchups? Where's your tier 1, tier 0, tiers beyond tier 0? Where are those matchups? They don't have any. Where's any duels where you take negations and win? There is none. Where's any duels where you can't play any spells against Dark Mission? Nobody has those videos. Everything I just said, all of those videos are on my channel. No spells, doesn't matter, I win. Super Polys, it does not matter, I win. It doesn't matter, I still win. I just had a duel on Master Duel that I'm gonna upload. The guy played Skill Drain in Imperial Order on the first turn. And it was against the Eldritch, and you already know how I feel against Eldritch. Eldritch is one of the weakest decks, and Eldritch is one of the decks that people hate the most because they can't beat them. Well, Eldritch is trash. So is every other deck to me. But I'm going to show you what happens when no monster effects, and you can't play any spells against my Dark Mission deck. You should already know, because if you haven't learned by now, then you haven't learned anything in my channel. If you play no spells on a Dark Mission deck, there is no videos like that anywhere. Type it in on YouTube, or type in Dark Mission versus Tier 0. Type it in on YouTube. It's not the first time I asked you to do this. There is none. Only my channel. So I'm going to upload the duel where I can't play any spells, no effects, and none of that matters to me. I still win. Doesn't matter what I'm dueling. That's what's interesting. 4 or 5. The max, I think I've gone against 6 negations. And I still stand that Mysterion is the most powerful deck in Yu-Gi-Oh! Until it gets banned, and it will get banned. Like the Infernoble, at some point it was the most powerful. It was able to establish 7 negations. A lot of people don't know that. See, a lot of people think they know everything. They don't even know the simple common stuff. Yeah, and they didn't even notice some of those cards were banned and it broke the deck. And yeah, so I was probably the only one in planet Earth that said when Anaconda got banned, it only made the Dark Mission more powerful. Everybody else says no, it made it weaker. Everybody left Dark Mission, right? In case you didn't know. So that's pretty much it. But you saw here firsthand, that is the profile. If you don't believe me, I'm going to leave you the message on here so you could go to their channel and ask them. But those are the profiles for the third place Sprite decks. Undefeated by the world. And you just saw Super Poly and Mystic Mind just killed them. They just died. So a lot of people are like, well, he played a weak deck. He didn't. It's just those cards are that powerful. So I think out of every... I could be wrong, but in my opinion, I think I have to do 100 times before I win with Super Poly, because I don't ever play Super Poly. Almost never. Yeah, like if you find any videos on my channel that I won with Super Poly, is rare. I have almost 400 videos. I think I've only won twice with it. And then Mystic Mind, I don't think I've ever won with it because I play it, but then I don't write it. I get rid of it right away. I let the deck win. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope it makes sense to you. A lot of the channels, when you go, people think that the decks or whatever, their matchups are weak. Like I've heard that before. Like a lot of people accuse me, like, you know what? The decks that you duel against, like there's people on my messages, you can read the messages, and they'll say that they'll be like, you only win because you play against kids that don't know how to play. You only win because those decks don't do nothing. They have no idea that those decks are undefeated. Like there is no channel on YouTube that has those decks beat. Like I can list you the names. Like for example, I'm the only one on YouTube that has the Dark Lord Beyond Tier 0 beat. It's in my channel. I beat it. And then I'm the only one on YouTube that has the full lockdown zombie scythe Beyond Tier 0. I'm the only one on YouTube that's beat that lock. I don't know if you knew that, but people can beat 4 negations per turn. That's why when I ask people, like, do you have any videos where you take 2 negations per turn? It becomes cricket town. Like, there's no one wants to respond. It becomes quiet. People leave my channel. That's why they hate me, because I can't be tricked. Like, I expose people right away in my Discord, in my YouTube, or anything, because I already know I'm not a rookie. So people can beat 2 negations per turn. What makes you think they can beat 3 to 4? So there is no decks like that nowhere on YouTube. Like type in Dark Magician versus 4 negations, and you won't find any videos. But you know what? I have a lot of those. I think I have a video where I did 6 or 7 is my max. 6, 7, or 8. I don't remember how many. But I have the max. I believe in the world for a Dark Magician. And then my standard is usually 2 to 3 per turn. Like, that's mandatory. And a lot of people get mad, like, oh, you won that duel and they didn't negate you. Well, that same deck is able to take 4 negations per turn. So it doesn't matter if I play someone who doesn't negate me or someone who negates me. Either way, I'm winning. That's what people don't understand. But then when the tables turn and it's your turn, you tell them, where are the videos where you take negations? 0 videos. And that's how I can tell that they don't know how to play Yu-Gi-Oh! And that goes for anyone. Like, if anybody want to write the comment, it doesn't matter who it is, I'll gladly go to your channel, and I already know you take no negations. I'm not talking about you establish your board, then they negate. No. I'm talking about you play your cards with no cards on the board and they negate them and you lose. I already know. That's why nobody has those videos. So on my channel, I'm full of that. Full of getting negated with 0 board and I still win. It does not matter. So that's pretty much it. I showed you how powerful those cards are because people don't want to believe me. And I'm probably the only guy on YouTube that's played as a staple a Super Poly and one Mystic since 2019, and I've never changed it. And the ban list doesn't affect my decks, none of them, because I don't play decks that everybody else plays. Because decks that everyone else plays, I don't know if you caught on, they're not smart. So they're not smart, and then you copy their deck, that makes you not smart. So what happens is when the ban list hit, their decks die. My deck, they're made to dodge the ban list. So basically, I play one ofs. So when you play one ofs, when the ban list when it limits a card like to 2 or 1, my profile is not affected because you're already playing that ratio. And then if they do ban the card, like for example, Vertia Anaconda, it doesn't affect my profile because my profile has always had somewhere around 16 different ways to summon Dragoon. And then on top of that, it had Anaconda. So it was 16 different ways plus Anaconda. So that if you add 1 to 16, that's 17. So you have a total of 17 different ways to summon Dragoon. So when they get rid of Anaconda, it goes to 16 different ways. So think about it. How can I be affected when I have 16 more ways to summon it? And that is that's the big answer. That's the big mystery that people wonder why my profiles are so successful. I just told you the secret. Because my cards, they don't solely depend on one card. The deck plays versatility. It plays with it combines. It plays as a unit, like a war, like a soldier, like a battle, like a group, like a gang. Is just a bunch of cards that work together simultaneously. It doesn't matter what you stop, there's more cards. And when you stop something, that's in vain because it chains. That's how I build my deck. That's why they're so successful. That's why a lot of successful YouTubers that play my deck, people love them because they've never seen that profile before. So those decks, like they'll tell, like for example, Z Holy, like, dude, your deck is the best. I never seen nothing like that. They have no idea that's my profile. It's just that since a lot of people don't talk, like that's what people want you to do. They don't want you to say nothing. They just want you to do. But I don't care because they don't control me. I do what I want because I don't depend on them. So yeah, so that's pretty much it, you guys. The video's gone for long enough. If you have any questions or concerns, also I'm gonna be updating the cost of some of the cards because I think a month and 2 weeks ago, I told people what cards to buy. Those cards are already off the budget list. They're already creeping onto the $10 to $15 per card. When I told people, a lot of these cards were $1 to $5 or less. My friend gave me some copies of some cards, and then I bought the rest for like $3-4, and I showed it to you guys, which was the Dark Mission update. So some of those cards, like for example the Garura, they're already going. I seen them for $15 per card, but they average $10 to $12. So a lot of people might think like that's nothing. Well, maybe it's nothing to you, but there's a lot of people who can't afford that. I think about everyone, not just some people. So that's why it's better to just listen to me and buy the cards when they're $1. And that's what I do. I buy a bunch of cards and then I just resell when they go up in value. Which I think is smart. It's just a bunch of money, and that's it. That's all there is to it. Sounds unbelievable, but that's the truth. And even though before I shut this video down, a lot of people don't think 1,000, 10,000, 20,000 is a lot of money. It doesn't matter. It's just free money. It doesn't matter. So with that having been said, you guys, Dark Magic Attack.